Imagine trusting someone with your life, only to have them steal it away with something as ordinary as eye drops. This is the chilling story of Lynn Hernan, a kind woman who thought she had a loyal friend in Jessy Kurczewski. But under the mask of care, a dark plan unfolded. Her caregiver murdered her with eye drops. Jessy Kurczewski appeared to be a devoted friend and caregiver to the ailing Lynn Hernan. But behind closed doors, she was draining her friend's bank accounts and plotting a murder using a seemingly harmless household item. Lynn Hernan was a simple woman living a quiet life in Pewaukee, Wisconsin. At 62 years old, she worked as a hairdresser for many years. She never got married and had no kids. She lived alone in her small condo, surrounded by her pets and a few close friends. In 2014, her life changed when her mother died, leaving her about $250,000. For the first time, Lynn had some money to feel secure, but her health started to fail. She had lung problems, high blood pressure, and bad stomach issues. By 2016, she needed help with daily tasks. That's when Jessy Kurczewski came into the picture more deeply. Jessy, then 37, had known Lynn since she was a child. Jessy's mom, Jennifer Flower, was Lynn's good friend, and Lynn treated Jessy like a niece or even a daughter. Jessy had just gotten out of prison in 2016 after serving time for stealing identities and forging checks. She needed a fresh start, and helping Lynn seemed perfect. Lynn trusted her completely. She even changed her will to make Jessy one of the main people to get her money if she died, along with a man named Anthony Pazza. At first, it looked like a sweet bond. Jessy would shop for groceries, pay bills, and take Lynn to doctor visits. Lynn called Jessy her daughter and threw a party when Jessy finished school. But something disturbing was hiding. Jessy started taking money from Lynn's accounts. Small amounts at first, but it added up fast. Lynn's big savings began to shrink without her knowing. The disturbing part hit on October 3rd, 2018. Jessy called 911 in a panic. "I found my friend unresponsive," she said. Police rushed to Lynn's condo and found her slumped in her recliner chair, dead. Pills were scattered on the floor, and there was a plate with crushed white powder next to her. It looked like she might have taken too many drugs or even killed herself. But as detectives looked closer, they found empty bottles of Visine eye drops around the house. Why so many? The answer would shock everyone. Behind the doors of Lynn's cozy condo, everything seemed normal on the surface. Jessy played the role of a caring friend perfectly. She visited every day, helped with cleaning, and made sure Lynn took her medicines. Friends saw them laughing together. Like family, Lynn's health was getting worse, and she relied on Jessy more and more. Jessy even moved some of her things into Lynn's place to stay over when needed. But this domestic facade had a rotten core. Jessy had money troubles. She liked gambling at casinos and spent a lot since getting out of prison. She needed cash, and Lynn's inheritance looked easy to take. From January 2016 to October 2018, Jessy stole over $144,000 while Lynn was alive. She wrote checks to herself, used Lynn's cards, and transferred money online. Lynn's account went from $250,000 down to just $87 by the time she died. Jessy spent on trips, clothes, and casino visits, even while Lynn was in the hospital fighting for her life. Lynn didn't notice at first because she was sick and trusted Jessy blindly. Jessy told Lynn she was handling the bills to make things easier, but Jessy was also named in Lynn's will. So if Lynn died, Jessy would get half of what was left. Prosecutors later said Jessy saw Lynn not as a friend, but as a bank account. The facade cracked a bit when Lynn's friends noticed she seemed worried about money sometimes, but she never blamed Jessy. Jessy had a boyfriend named Scott Craig during this time. He saw Jessy as kind and helpful, but even he didn't know the full truth. The home life looked peaceful, two women supporting each other, but under it, Jessy was building a trap. Lynn's health went into a downward spiral in the years before her death. Her lung disease made it hard to breathe, and her stomach problems kept her in pain. She went to the hospital many times. Jessy was always there, acting worried. But as Lynn got weaker, Jessy's theft got bolder. She took more money, leaving Lynn with almost nothing. In the months before October 2018, things got tense. Lynn and Jessy argued sometimes, especially about money. One day, they fought badly. Jessy later told police that Lynn was depressed and talked about suicide. She said Lynn started mixing eye drops with vodka to drink, thinking it would help her sleep or end her pain. Eye drops have a chemical called tetrahydrozoline, which is safe in eyes but deadly if swallowed in large amounts. It can stop your heart or make you stop breathing. On October 3rd, 2018, Jessy said she saw Lynn pour 6 bottles of Visine into a water bottle. They argued, but Jessy handed it to her anyway and left to run errands. When she came back, Lynn was dead. Jessy called 911, sounding upset, but detectives wondered, why didn't she stop Lynn? Why leave her alone? After Lynn's death, Jessy's spiral continued. She stole another $140,000 from Lynn's estate, making the total theft over $290,000. She spent it quickly. In March 2020, Jessy and her mom went to police to ask about Lynn's cause of death, even before it was public. That raised red flags. By July 2019, Jessy was arrested for breaking her parole rules. During questioning, her story changed. First, she denied knowing about eye drops. Then, she said Lynn drank them on purpose. Jessy's life fell apart. Her boyfriend broke up with her. She sat in jail, waiting for charges. The devastating reveal came from the autopsy. In late 2018, the medical examiner, Dr. Linda Beterzicki, tested Lynn's blood. It had high levels of tetrahydrozoline, not from using eye drops normally, but from drinking it. This chemical isn't supposed to be in blood. It was ruled a homicide, not suicide. Lynn had been poisoned. Detectives dug deeper. They found Jessy had searched online about poisons. The crime scene looked staged. The pills and powder weren't what killed Lynn. Tests showed no overdose from them. Jessy was the only one with access to Lynn that day. Prosecutors said Jessy mixed the eye drops into Lynn's drink to kill her, then made it look like suicide to cover up. In June 2021, Jessy was charged with murder and theft. The trial started in October 2023. It lasted weeks. Prosecutors showed bank records of the stolen money. They played Jessy's police interviews, where her story kept changing. A jail friend testified that Jessy admitted to giving Lynn the deadly mix. The defense said Lynn killed herself because she was sad and sick. They brought an expert who said it could be mixed drugs, not just eye drops. But the jury didn't buy it. After 2 days, on November 14th, 2023, they found Jessy guilty of first-degree intentional homicide and 2 theft counts. Jessy cried in court. Even after Jessy tried to fake evidence from jail. She wrote letters asking a friend to make a fake voice recording of Lynn, saying she wanted to die, but the friend turned it in. This made her look even worse. In the debrief after the trial, everyone saw Jessy's true colors. At sentencing on April 5th, 2024, Judge Jennifer Doro called her actions evil and greedy. Jessy spoke for 2 hours, saying she was innocent and loved Lynn, but the judge didn't believe her. Jessy got life in prison, with a chance for release after 30 years, plus extra time for theft. Public reaction was strong. People were shocked that eye drops could kill. News stories called it the eye drops murder. Many felt sad for Lynn, a nice woman betrayed by someone she trusted. Online, forums like Reddit buzzed with anger at Jessy. How could she do that to her aunt? One person wrote. True crime fans discussed how money ruins friendships. Lynn's friend spoke out, saying justice was served, but it couldn't bring her back. The case warned people about trusting caregivers with money. Police said it showed how common items can be weapons. Jessy's mom stood by her, but most saw Jessy as a monster. As the story unfolds, the emotions build from trust to betrayal, then horror. We start with hope and friendship, but it turns to fear as secrets come out. The pain of Lynn's lonely death hits hard. Jessy's lies make us angry. By the end, there's relief and justice, but sadness lingers. How could care turn to murder? It makes us question who we let close. In the end, Lynn Hernan's story reminds us that evil can hide in plain sight, even in a bottle of eye drops. Betrayed by the one she called family, her death was slow and cruel, but justice caught up. Remember Lynn, not as a victim, but as a woman who deserved better. Could this happen to anyone? Watch who you trust.
Like and subscribe.